Hi team, welcome back. Due North is back. Here I am in Scotland, ready to go on another adventure. Last night I booked my tickets that are going to take me over the English Channel and then over, what sea is it? Over some more water from Denmark to Norway. And right now I'm making sure the van is ready. I'm making sure everything works the way it's supposed to work and everything's tidy. I only have the things I need, and just basically making sure this whole situation that I built here is ready for another trip to the Arctic this winter. I'm going to be gone for 80 days. 80 days in the Arctic. Norway, Sweden, Finland. I'm going to see Oddpeter. There's going to be some surprise people that you're going to see. It's going to be great. I can't wait. So Due North is back. This is Due North 2. This is what happened last time. So hopefully I'll be able to live up to those epic adventures. Hopefully this thing that I built around me is going to do a great job of carrying me safely through the Arctic, and hopefully I'm going to be able to show you some awesome things. I've got some great new camera gear that I'm going to be putting to the test to film the Northern Lights, hopefully film the Northern Lights in real time. And I'm going to be, with this episode, this first episode, I'm going to be showing you the things I'm doing to get the van ready and prepare safely and sensibly. There's no sensible in this thing. I'm gonna get everything ready for this amazing trip to the Arctic. Starting right here in Scotland, I'm going to show you where I am, but this part of the trip is not so much about the adventure, it's more about the van and sponsorship, getting everything in place, making sure I'm up to date on my work, making sure I'm still going to have plenty of work because it's going to be a very expensive trip, and I cannot wait. Let's get straight into it. This is Scotland. Alrighty, got a first problem. The battery voltage of the house batteries in the back is showing me 13.39 volts, but the engine's on, so it should be charging. It should be reading 14 point something, 14.2 thereabouts, and it's not. So there's clearly something wrong with the charging from the front to the back. I've got a Renogy DC to DC charger, so I've got the engine battery under here next to me, and cables are running to a DC to DC charger in the back, which is in turn telling this battery when to charge the house batteries, which is 300 amp hours of lithium. Nothing to it but to get in there and have a look, I suppose, and see what's going on. First things first, see if it's even on. But I need to find somewhere that I can actually do it, because I need to get stuff out of the back. So I need a nice big wide open area, so let's get moving. Alright, the engine's on and the light's not on, so somewhere the connection's not right, because when it's connected and the engine is on, it turns on. Let's go have a look, see what's going on here. So if it's not on, then that means, see all the things happening in my head right now, that means the ignition switch isn't switching it on. So as well as the battery cables running from the battery through two fuses into that, I can rule them out because the unit's just not on, which means the cable running to the ignition isn't switching it on. Pete wired that. I'm not saying he did a bad job. Pete the mechanic, greatest mechanic in the world. But where's it wired to? I think it's down here. Hang on. So I think It's under here somewhere. It's under here somewhere. Behind here. So I need to take this off and get in there. Where does the cable go? There's speaker cables. Yeah, there's speaker cables. Where does it go? It goes somewhere here. It goes right, so these are the battery cables that run from the battery. There should be a really thin one. There it is. That's the cable I need to trace. That little thin red one. I'm not wearing the right shoes for this. Damn it. Okay. To get in here. Organised chaos. T15. Nope. T40. Nope. There's one, there's some. What's this one? It's not even in the toolbox. 25, maybe. I think 30 though. 10. Let's check this 25. $25 it is. That's the one. Right. I can feel it is. Oh, hello. Right. So there's a connection there and there's a connection there. Now this is crazy. But I want to see if it works, having fiddled. Just want to see if it was a loose connection that I have miraculously reconnected somehow. I'm feeling around and everything feels solid. Everything feels good. Where does this one go? That one goes there. And that goes to the stereo, I think. Yeah, that goes to the stereo. Right. Yeah, right. Let's see what happens having fiddled with the cables. No lights. No lights. It's still off. I'm gonna have to trace this cable the whole way. Damn. I did a double fiddle just to see. 13.5 volts. It's not charging, it's not on. But I'm concerned that the same ignition source is powering the stereo, and the stereo is on. So that's off, this is on. Maybe it is one of the fuses, but it would still show, surely it would still show a light that it's getting an ignition source. Even if it's not charging, it would show some kind of, like, because it's got a red light and a green light, surely it would show some kind of a fault if it was getting ignition but it wasn't getting power. What's the easiest thing to do? Trace that ignition cable, which runs in here, up here, down here, and into there, and then back past the back of the back of the cupboards, back of the fridge. If it's got a kink in it, it's just a simple fix. Or the positive cable is connected to the battery, then there's a fuse within about 20 centimeters, and then runs all the way to the back and has another fuse before it hits the charger and then goes to the battery. But the lights are off. See, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this week of figuring out, I say week, it's about a month. This is why I'm figuring out all the faults, because they outsmart me, so I need to think hard. But I'm gonna fix it. I just don't know how. Right, I'm gonna look at the battery, because why not? It's under there, so I need to rip all this up, which is quite easy until you get to the bits that I've velcroed. Let's grip up my front garden. There we go. Oh, damn. This bit. And then I need to get under there. Need to pull this out. My box of stuff. This is the plus side to making your own van, is when it goes wrong, you're gonna have half an idea of where the answer is. Alright, battery's under there. This is going to the light bar. This is the one that goes back. Yes, this is the one that goes back to the split charger, to the DC charger. And that fuse is fine. 100 amp blade fuse. It's connected properly. This is the negative that goes back there. It's also connected properly. Right. What's the voltage? 13.5. Damn. I better undo that, put all that back, and try the next idea. Why is this such a big issue, I hear you say? Well, 300 amp hours of lithium, 300 watt solar panel on the roof, 300 watt solar panel that today is doing at the most 33 watts because of the weather, this weather. This is what I've got today. Cloud and rain, basically no sun, no direct sunlight is hitting the solar panel. When I was in France and Italy whizzing around Europe in the summer, that was not a problem, but now it is a problem because I can't rely on my solar. My solar is in the winter is going to become the top-up power, and the main source of power is going to be the DC to DC charger. what that does is it looks at the voltage in the front battery, the engine battery, and decides when that's enough, stick all the power in the back to the house batteries to charge those 300 amp hours of lithium. If I don't have that, I can't survive on solar. The solar's just not creating enough power, and I need to be able to power my air fryer and my laptop and charge my drone and my cameras, and you can imagine I go through quite a lot of power. What is the problem here? 13.56. Cable everywhere. Trying to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna have to pull the cable out from behind the benches, check the fuse on the DC charger. There must be a fuse on the charger itself. There must be. That means I've got to crawl into that tiny space. I didn't make it accessible. I made it kind of accessible. Oh god, right, here we go. Look at that hair. I fixed it. No, I don't know how. I checked all the cable connections, checked all the fuses. They're all fine. The light's not on, but the fan's on and the voltage has gone up. And the engine's on. So it's on. I just don't know why or how. Oh well. I'll read the manual and see what it means when it's on but the lights aren't on, I guess. Check that off the list. Calling that a success. Somehow. Haven't really been able to go out or do anything because it hasn't stopped raining. But that's good. I wouldn't expect anything else of Scotland, I suppose, but that is good because it means I know the van's not leaking. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I had a leak up by the skylight above the bed, and I plugged what I thought the leak was with liquid rubber, and the van, when you're driving along, the van flexes and sways and twists, and it's so long. It's 7 meters long, 22 foot, somewhere thereabouts. And so when it sways, things move, and where I put the window and skylight in myself, the edges well, cracks have appeared. It's raining and it's not leaking. I've been sat on my laptop all day writing reviews and tutorials, and there's no leak. That's a win. Oh, and the candlelight's cool. I'm gonna get back to watching TikToks and YouTubes. This wind sucks. You can see wind and rain. The outside of the van, very, very brief walk around. We've got lights down here, we've got lights here, we've got lights at the top. I create my own sunlight because I need to be able to see everything in the dark. There's so much wildlife around here in Scotland and when I get to Scandinavia. Massive chunky tyres. These are Pirelli Scorpion All-Terrain Plus on 18-inch alloy rims from Rogue Alloy. Window on the side that I put in myself. There's a skylight on top, and there are more lights on the side and at the back, so when I'm reversing or if it's dark I can see into the darkness. And this is the long high L4H3 version of the Sprinter. So the bed is almost on that line actually. The bed is, there's loads of storage and then the kitchen and the office and everything are over there. Under the bed all the storage is accessed via the back. I've got deadlocks on every door and the solar panel is up there. Let's get inside. This is silly. Let's get inside. And let's get in the back. This is the kitchen. This is the kitchen area I'm currently watching up. I figured it'd be good to show you actually doing stuff, things in action. Because you get van tours where you get the Instagram van life, where everything's all, you know, beautiful and pretty. You don't get the reality. So this is the reality. The sink is here, it's huge. The water's heated on a burner. I have cold water on tap with a 12-volt pump fed from a water tank that's under this counter. What else is going on over here? The draining board. So this area here, I lay out this unfolding draining board mat thing with plate racks and everything. So stuff goes there to dry, like these cups are. The grey water, so the dirty water from the sink, drains down into a tank next to the freshwater tank. There's a dirty water tank, a grey water tank, and there's a tap on the bottom of that. I installed a tap on the bottom. It's just a quarter turn ball valve, and when I park over a drain or a grey waste disposal point, I can empty it. Is that hot enough? That's hot enough. When I park over there, I can just empty it whenever I'm ready to. So I'm carrying around my dirty water until I expel it. Some people just have it drip out. This can go down the drain. It's just dirty water. There's no stuff in it. I'm careful about the washing up liquid I use, and nothing else goes down there. So that's the kitchen. Here's the kitchen. Isn't it lovely? This, by the way, you can see this in this shot as well. This is a specular light. So when I'm doing, there we go, proper filming, these lights unfold, and at the moment I've got them set up to face this white wall here, which is the side door, and reflect light back into over here where I usually sit. All I do is run the wire from the power source behind me, plug it in, turn it on. So that's a specular light with a Platypod on the ceiling holding it up with a spigot adapter. This part of the kitchen is where my important things are kept, like tea, coffee, sugar, more coffee, different kinds of coffee, paper towels. That's the kitchen. Team, this is my office right here. This is one of my office locations within the van. Sometimes I sit at the desk, sometimes I sit in the spinny chair, sometimes I sit up in the bed because why not? Last night the weather here was absolutely terrible. The rain hammered down onto the van. Really strong winds, and the winds have continued today. The van's getting buffeted about. This is great testing ground. You'll be pleased to know the skylight held strong. There are no leaks. Everything is good there. We'll see what happens when I get to the Arctic and there's a weight of a load of snow on the roof. But for now, everything in that sense is good. So that's another thing checked off the list. I'm going to get on with some work today. I want to be able to take you exploring, but this part of the trip isn't about it. I'm going to mix things up, and we're going to have some POV stuff coming in the future for later episodes. But for testing the van out and catching up on work, making sure I've got everything in place, everything the way I want it to be and need it to be, make sure I receive all the products I need to receive to review before I go away for 80 days. So it's going to happen, but for now, testing. This is all the van stuff. I'll tell you another thing I'm going to do. In another episode while I'm in Scotland, I'm going to give you a proper van tour. I'm going to do it in 360. You'll be able to look around the van by moving your phone around. It'll be really cool, so keep an eye out for that. Right, let's see what else I can get up to here in Scotland, see what other testing there is, but first, work. There's the bed. It is 1 meter off the ground. Kitchen is there, bed is there, and there's a storage cupboard and a fridge. Loads of storage up here, and then there's the front. Let's go through. Here's the front. It's separated with a thermal curtain there, and I have a swivel seat beside me, so that can spin around to face forwards, backwards, or sideways. And what else have we got going on? All my controls are within reach. Overlanding sat nav, dash cam, all the light switches are up here. Stereo, obviously, a tracker, another tracker, a third tracker, and then the phone is here. And yeah, this is Kofifernweh. Oh, now what? I think that is this week's episode done. I'm going to continue through Scotland. I'm going to continue looking for faults with the van, looking for things to fix. Battery is still doing good, so that's positive. And quite surprisingly, with overcast, rainy skies, there's still a fairly decent amount of solar coming in, which is cool. Must be because my solar panel is flipping enormous. I'm heading north to Fort William. I've been to Fort William. I'm heading north towards Applecross, that sort of area. I've got 100 and something miles to go. I've just picked myself up a snack in the local shop, a little cupcake, and next week's episode I'm going to hopefully start with a real one of these. We'll see. I've seen a few already, but I want to get up close and personal. So thank you very much for joining me. Please, once in a lifetime, as often as you can, and I'll catch you next week.